because the Lighthouse is new to people that came aboard. So I think that's kind of important. Let me share my screen. I first heard about Lighthouse marketing through Jesse Elder. Jesse Elder was on our board of directors for United Professionals in the early 2000s, late 90s. He then went on to work with Von Schmeling on his chain of schools throughout the country. He left that position, sold his schools, and now is kind of a philosopher, motivator, life coach. And I bought one of his programs, I was into one of his programs one time, and he talked about marketing. And the marketing he talked about was you can be a tugboat or you can be a lighthouse. And his analogy was if you're a tugboat and your job is to take boats from the sea into the harbor, you would chug out there and you would go against the waves. You would tie up to one of these large boats. You turn on your engines, move this ship safely into harbor, make sure it's in its dock. You would have to let go of that ship, untie, and then go out to get another one. He goes, the lighthouse is also there around harbors to make sure ships are safe. But it does only two things. One, it's grounded, and second, it shines. He says, when you market your whatever, and now we're talking about marketing martial arts schools, you can go out and you can talk to one student, one prospect at a time and do this type of work, do Facebook trying to get a couple leads, or you could be the lighthouse and say, I'm going to work really hard at making sure my school is known as the martial arts school in town. So if someone looking for martial arts, they've heard about me. Maybe they heard that I was the safest place in town for kids, parents to bring their kids. Maybe they found out I was a fitness expert in town. They found out I was a self-defense expert in town. They found out that a lot of people are taking money out of this town, but this martial arts school is giving back. They're doing something for the PTO. They're speaking to the kids in the school system. They're doing special events. They're talking at the Chamber of Commerce. And because everyone's heard about it and they've heard so many good things, they're attracted to this school. So when all of a sudden their life becomes unbalanced and they start seeking something to balance and they find out maybe they need confidence for their child or they need fitness in their life, they're just getting to an age where they can't stay in shape anymore. They go, I've heard of that martial arts school, that's where I'm going. So you're attracting people. So everything you do is to build up on your reputation, make your school remarkable. In other words, we talk about this a lot of times. The school becomes remarkable when your students and your families have things to say about your school. We're just talking to Mr. Convento, brought his team down to on a 3-day cruise. Well, that's a remarkable thing. And when I say remarkable, all those people on his team are retelling all their friends. They're going to be telling the students, they're going to be telling the parents about that. They probably put things out on the internet or on Facebook. So he's getting a lot of publicity and a lot of people talking about the school because he did a remarkable event. So it's my belief that as we're building our schools, we want to build ourselves as the lighthouse. The challenge with the lighthouse, it's ongoing and we have to build momentum. It's not something we can do like if we just went to, someone did a VIP, we did some tugboat marketing where we get instant results. It takes a little while to build this lighthouse. It takes a little while to get this grounded. So I just want to talk about a couple of things that you can do as a martial arts school owner. One is the lighthouse is grounded. You've got to make sure you keep the main thing the main thing. Too often I see schools, I think, jump on the next shiny thing that they see either in the industry or at an event, and all of a sudden they want to add this program, and they want that program, and they want to do this program, but they really don't stand for anything. So it's really important that you have a vision for your school. As the owner, that's a vivid vision. You know exactly what you want to do with your student, school, and the community. It may not be the same thing I want, and that's totally fine. You may want to be the jiu-jitsu school in your community. When people think jiu-jitsu, they know you have the strongest trainers. You have people that are totally committed. That could be your vision. and then your mission is how you're going to accomplish that. I see that we have Dave on from North Carolina. He wants to have a kids' school. He doesn't teach a lot of adults, but he really wants to impact kids in the community. So anything he can do in that community that's related to kids. So maybe he's doing things to the PTO. He's going in and he's talking to kids about bully prevention. He's participating in some church events and talking to the kids in church events. So people that have children have seen and they know when he's around and what his school stands for, what Sun Martial Arts stands for. So you have to have a strong vision, you have to have a strong mission, and you want to make sure you stay grounded to that. Along with that, when I was just mentioning, you give. So I know it's kind of a cliche to say we give back to the community, but you do want to give. I know in my area, there's a couple martial arts schools that are really into fitness. And when they do a run in town, we have something that's called the Dun Run. It's a 5K run. Their martial arts school is out there. They have banners. Everyone's dressed up for this. It's a real fitness-oriented school. So you know that when you see that in the events, you go, wow, if I'm looking for a place to get in shape, that place, Lighthouse Martial Arts, has a great reputation for building fitness. And they have a young crowd. I want to be part of that young crowd. So people know what you stand for, and your message is out there for everyone to see. You don't want to be the best kept secret in town. So if you do something special, it's okay to market it. It's okay for have the TV station down there taking some film. It's okay to write a news release for your newspaper, if you still have a newspaper in your town. But you have to get people talking about you, and you have to get other people talking about you. So it's really getting your name out. That's the whole idea with the Lighthouse. So as we're building that, there's some things we can do in Easter to help that. One is something we can do in April. Because of Easter being in April, it's really a great way to reach kids. I know we talk about this a lot of time, having an Easter egg hunt for the kids. You go, well, that's selling out in martial arts. No, I don't think so. You're getting a chance to meet people that you've never met before, parents and kids. Some of them are going to be probably looking for martial arts and want to get introduced to martial arts. So any way you can get nose to nose, chest to chest, belly to belly with someone and talking about your martial arts school, it's great. Also, if you're doing Easter egg hunts and you're sponsoring an Easter egg hunt, it's really nice to have your promotional booth out there. Maybe you're giving away prizes. So as kids get eggs, and certain eggs have prizes in them, they go to your martial arts school booth, they pick up their prize, maybe give them some free cotton candy. You're building rapport, talking to the parents. When I was writing this morning, I go, I'm going to give this idea out, and I wonder if there's really anything in my town for Easter. So let me just pull this up. Let me pull up another thing here. So I pulled this up on Safari, and I just Googled Easter egg hunts in West Palm Beach. So there's one here, Easter egg bingo. There's an Easter egg hunt, Easter egg extravaganza, the Lake Park annual Easter egg hunt. There's another Easter egg hunt on Military Trail. There's this one really good if you're an adult. There's an Easter egg hunt bar crawl. So I guess if you had a MMA class or fitness class, you could do that. This other center is having an Easter egg hunt. But there's probably 20 to 25 in my area. I mean, I could be doing an Easter egg hunt from the 14th of April through the 27th of April, actually a week after Easter. Or actually Easter Day. So there's really, really great opportunities. So an Easter egg hunt isn't something that you have to do. You can just get out there and into your community. Let me get back into my share screen. Also with this Easter egg hunt, again, it's lead generation. If you're trying to do some type of a booth and doing a drawing for maybe a free family martial arts program, people are putting in their name, address, phone number, email address. So you're definitely doing lead generation. I know Mick Perry's on. One of the things Mick Perry does that I think is a really cool idea, if he's doing a promotional booth, he's promoting a community event that he's going to sponsor the following week. So it's a great way to get people that you meet this Sunday at your school next Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So if you're doing an Easter egg hunt and you're tying it in with either some type of party for kids, you're doing a beginner's martial arts workshop, you're doing a stranger danger event, anything that you're going to be doing for the community, promote it at your Easter egg hunt at the booth. Now people have a reason to come back and see you. Now when you're doing outgoing calls, you're not just saying, hey, thanks for stopping by the booth, but thanks for stopping by my booth. I just want to remind you that we do have a community event coming up this Friday, and remind them what the community event is. I know people talk about this and they hate it. You know, spring is a time team sports happen. And you're going to be afraid you're going to lose students to baseball, and you probably will lose a couple. But it's also a great opportunity to meet all these kids in your town that aren't taking martial arts. So it's a great opportunity to sponsor a sports team. Maybe you want to sponsor a couple baseball teams or a soccer team if that's happening in the springtime. But sponsor teams, now you've got a whole team wearing your name on the uniform. When they read about the results, they're reading about your name. It's also want to do special things for the team you sponsor. So you're going to have your team come in and they're going to train at your martial arts school because you want to work on their flexibility and their reaction time. You want to host a party to kick off the season. You want to host a party at the end of the season. You want to promote this team. Maybe you're going to go to the baseball games. You're going to give water away. And the water bottles, I used to do this. I used to buy them at Costco. I used to put my own team label on them. And on the team label, it would just say, take the label off. It's good for a free class at East West Karate. So now I'm getting involved with other team sports. If you can't get to a sponsor team, find out who in your class is going to be playing sports. Find out who their coach is. Call the coach. Tell them that we have a student in common. You know, one of my martial arts students is a really good martial arts student, is now playing on your baseball team. And I would love to have an opportunity to come in and work some training with your team. We do a lot of drills that other sports don't do. It really builds up kids' reaction time. It gets them to have a quick takeoff, and it also works on their flexibility. So if you can't sponsor a team because you have students playing other team sports, I'm sure you can get introduced to different coaches. Well, so I'm really trying to get the idea across that if we're going to be the Lighthouse, we're not going to go against sports and say you should play other sports. Hey, if you do other sports, that's fine. I'd really like to sponsor your team. If you're playing other sports, I'd really like to have you play that sport, be really good at it, but also be ready for your testing come June. So we got to make sure you get martial arts classes in there. And if you can't get enough classes in, talk to the parents about some type of private classes. But enhance your school, build your Lighthouse, sponsor other teams, and figure how you can get all those kids that weren't thinking about doing martial arts but would rather play baseball, give them something to do next summer. They want to keep training. Cool. Let's keep training in martial arts because martial arts doesn't take a break during the summertime. You should have just finished graduation last month. If you did, it's a real nice time to do something special for your adults. If you have a women's fitness class, this is a good month to do class in a glass. This is where all the women can come in, train. They can bring a friend of theirs. You have some appetizers, something after class. Craig Haley does this down Lighthouse Point. He does it even where the women get a glass of wine, so he calls it class in a glass. For if you have adults, maybe you're doing Krav Maga or you're doing some type of self-defense adults, do a punch and lunch. A punch and lunch is where all the guys come in and they train a class, they bring a buddy, and not only do some punching in class, they have lunch after. Great time to have a barbecue. But again, you're making your school remarkable. Now all your adult students are remarking about your classes by inviting their friends in. Their friends come in, they do a class in a glass, maybe they do the punch and the lunch. They have something to talk about when they go back to work on Monday. They're talking about your school. Yeah, Mick Perry just sent me a message when I was saying that. He was talking about punch and lunch and that when you have Mother's Day and Father's Day. So that's a great idea. So this one idea is good for April because you just finished with a graduation. It's also good for May for Mother's Day and for June for Father's Day. During April, if you had graduation, this is the month where you want to do invitational classes. Invitational classes are, you have students on your welcome program. You want to have them upgrade to your black belt class, or you want to upgrade them to leadership. So we're going to invite 20 to take a class by invitation only. The idea is to make them feel special. Tell them that you've been watching them in class. And Mrs. Smith, I'd really like to see your son David in this class. I think this would be a perfect program for him. It's going to set higher goals and higher standards. And I'd like to see him training on this next Friday at 5 o'clock, whatever it's going to be. So you're doing calls out, you get 20 people in, you rock a good class, you talk about the benefits of setting the goal for black belt, tell them that this is the program that's going to get them to black belt, give them an incentive to join that day. So this is doing a mass upgrade disguised as a invitational class. You do the same thing with add-ons. If you have an add-on program like Hyper, this is the time, this is the month, to call enough people so you get 20 people on the floor. Your add-on could be a $50 a month program. Give them incentive to do it that day. A lot of people pay cash for a program like that if it's 12 months. So it's a great way to follow up April financially after you did March with testing fees. So March is testing fees. Now April, we want to match that. So we do an invitational class and we do upgrades in add-ons. I was talking to someone this morning, and I know I was thinking about doing the marketing pillars, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow. And I was going over the marketing pillars with him, and he's younger than me, but not by a lot. So I'm talking about birthday parties. And he goes, I'll tell you, he goes, it sounds like a great idea for some schools. I don't really have an instructor that I would trust to do birthday parties. I'm not going to do it myself. I'd rather get on my mountain bike and go mountain bike riding on Saturday. Birthday parties aren't for me. I go, cool. Let me tell you about promotional booths. He goes, well, that sounds great, but it sounds like I'm going to spend more time than I would on a birthday party. I'm not going to do that. I said, okay, cool. Let's go try some more. I said, this is working great. In fact, I have 2 clients. This is their number one way of getting new students in. They partner with the PTO. They found out what the PTO is working on right now to raise money for. They do a 6-week program for $69 or $89. The school system hands out flyers. They get 10 to 20 students every time they do this. He goes, sounds like a lot of work to me. You go, cool. I got a better idea. You don't want to do marketing, buy your students. He goes, what do you mean buy your students? I go, buy your students. You know, you talk to William Pierce. William Pierce spends a lot of money on Facebook marketing. And he says, I don't want to do this stuff. I'd rather buy students. So he spends $2,000, $5,000 a month, and he has some professional doing his marketing. He does a lot of it himself, but that's his philosophy. I was talking to this gentleman today. He's got a very strong school. He's got 250 students. He's grossing under 50,000, but not by a lot. So he's doing very good. And I go, how much would you pay for a new student? He goes, I don't know. He goes, the way you're talking about William Pierce, it may cost him $200 to $500 for a student. I go, yeah. I said, so you do everyone on an 18-month program, so you're getting about $1,500. What would you pay to have someone give you $1,500? It goes, I'd spend $500 all day long. I go, we got it. That's your marketing pillar. Start figuring you're going to buy students. Do you have the money? You can afford it. You know, you're going to do that type of marketing. You know it's a good investment. Hey, I'll spend $500 to get $1,500 all day long. So, you know, we came up with a marketing program for him. So, number one here, marketing is an investment. When I had my school, the standard was 10%. 10% of my gross went to marketing. That went to my print advertising. That went for my demo team doing things. That's doing different types of events. That's doing my newspaper ads. You know, that was for marketing, 10%. Most schools don't do that anymore. Back in the day, most schools used to spend probably 5% just on having a Yellow Page ad, which was really good. Now people are worried about spending $80 on a website. I tell them, well, get this website for $200. Oh, that's way too much money. Well, if your website's going to get you some students each month, $200, $500 is not a big investment. So there is a cost for new students. Again, when I was talking to the gentleman this morning, he had a clear understanding of the value in return. He was glad to spend so much money to get a return on that. When we start building momentum, let me first explain why momentum is so important. Tom Baker's got momentum. Tom Baker's got 440 students, and it's got 440 people talking about his school because he knows the importance of Lighthouse marketing. He's built momentum. He's doing a lot of things. People invite him back. He'll do a promotional booth for his the baseball league. They call him the following year. So he does promotion booths. People call him, reminding him, hey, it's time to do your booth. He's built momentum. A lot of times when I'm working for clients, they go, I'm doing the same thing as Tom Baker. I did this thing. I just didn't get results. I did Valentine's Day cards, and they didn't sign anyone else. Yep, you're starting to build momentum. You didn't do Valentine's Day cards before, but now 5,000 people have seen a card with your name and number. Maybe they didn't respond to it, but maybe next month they're going to come in and they're going to do a birthday party at your school, or maybe they're going to see you at a promotion booth, or maybe they're going to play on a team sport that's playing one of your teams. They're going to hear about your school again, and then they're going to see something on Facebook, and they're going to watch a video. Okay, now you start to build momentum. Having one person saying one ad isn't going to convert to a student. People have to see your ad over and over again, because people aren't going to sign up just because they saw an ad. They're going to sign up because I need martial arts. Something's happening in my child's life where it's unbalanced. My child's afraid to go to school all of a sudden, or my child's getting a little bit overweight. Well, now I need martial arts. I'm going to go back and look for my school. And I'm going to look for the school, the one that I hear about. That's the Lighthouse. So you just can't expect momentum to happen. Momentum happens when you've done all these things. Now people in your area are needing martial arts, and they're going to think about your school. Or they're going to hear about something that they never thought martial arts did. I didn't know martial arts was good for that. I have this student, and he's got kids picking on him. And the reason kids pick on him because he stumbles a lot. Well, let's work on his coordination and motor skills. We can change that bullying around. You have to create momentum. So you keep working at it. Just because something didn't work one time doesn't mean you abandon it. So if you did a birthday party and didn't sign up a new student, cool, get better at doing birthday parties. Next time I didn't do it, that's fine. Now you've got 30 people that have been to your school and heard about your school. I'm going to do another birthday party and start building more momentum. Another way to create more momentum is just to be more active. One of the reports I like to see from clients is an activity report. What did you do today to get a new appointment? What did you do today to get a new appointment? Now, I'm going to go back and tell you a story from 3 years ago. And when I did 10 by 10, I was buying a car 3 years ago, and it happened to be this month. I had a female saleswoman, and I go, it seems like you do really well. She goes, yes, she goes, a lot of the marketing is up to us at this dealership. Now, the reason I stopped there is because this dealership that day, I was looking for a new car, and they were having a barbecue outside. I stopped. I figured this would be a good reason. No one's going to bother me. So I started there. And so I was talking to the girl. I go, what do you do for marketing? She goes, well, one of the things is each of us has to sell 10 cars by the 10th of the month. I go, really? You have to sell a car a day for 10 days? She goes, yep. I go, and the company helps you? She goes, no, we have to do it. So things like this, when we're doing the barbecue, she says, I'm going to get a lot of people's names and numbers, and then I'm going to be calling them all the first of the last month. And people who I met the month before that, she says, I've got a huge database. I have to sell 10 cars by the 10th of the month. It's up to me. She creates a lot of momentum. So what happens with that momentum, she sells a lot of cars between the 11th and the 30th because she got the ball rolling. So when you start your goals, I just suggest you have this mindset. I'm going to sell or sign 10 by the 10th. I'm going to hit my goal by the 20th. The reason I like everyone to hit their goal by the 20th, because if you say I'm going to hit the goal by the 30th, and then we're starting to step to the end and go, man, there's a lot of pressure. Do it by the 20th. You have to do it by the 20th. If you don't do it by the 20th, well, you still got to the 30th, so you still got some time in between. But it's not about you, it's about your team. Your team has to know if we sign up 20 students by the 20th, you're going to get a bonus. Well, why don't I just do it by the end of the month? Well, if you do by the end of the month, that's great, but you don't get your bonus. You only get your bonus if we do the goal by the 20th of the month. It's all about creating momentum. It's all about creating the right mindset. Now, I've got to do 10 by the 10th. I got to hit my goal by the 20th. If I hit by the 20th, we're going to really celebrate. And if we don't do it, we still have time to reach the goal. So I've got 10 more days. So that's basically what I wanted to cover today. Tomorrow, I'm going to really get into the marketing pillars. I know everyone on this page so far, I think, has done marketing pillars. But I really want to get the whole idea of the Lighthouse. If you have heard this before, it may not be top of mind thinking. So I'm trying to get it back to top of mind thinking. Again, what the Lighthouse is all about, things you can do in April. And again, I want to give you the mindset of investing. We have to invest some money into new students. I know we have a location and people are going to just walk in. But even if you have a nice location, you can market that location. When I had my school in Mesa, we're in a shopping center, not a ton of walk by, but there were people that would have to go to the grocery store, park on one side of me, walk in front of my school. I always had a table in front of my school, and I had stuff to pick up. It's amazing how many people stop at the table to pick up a brochure, but won't walk in the school to pick up a brochure. So we put it out there. And I don't know how many times that my front end office person used to have to run out. They would see someone looking at one of the brochures, go out, find out if they can help. So we did marketing that way. And then I bought a A-frame sign. I put that in front of my school because when you're walking under the overhang of the building, you really can't see what you're walking in front of because the sign is on the building. So we had an A-frame sign. So everyone walking by saw East-West Karate. On the A-frame sign, it had visitors always welcome. The reason I thought that was important is because a lot of times your school is busy. People may walk in and go, well, I'm going to come back when this place isn't so busy. So having a nice sign that says visitors always welcome, that did pretty good for me. So then I had 4 ways to get in and out of the shopping center. So I had 4 more A-frame signs. And in the morning, I put out the A-frame signs by the entrances. And before I went home, I picked them up. So now I had 5 signs in my shopping center. So there's a lot of things you can do as far as investing. I mentioned last week, then we had school in Boca Raton. What we did there is I hired a sign spinner. And this guy was, again, if you heard this before, he was really cool. He was a young guy. He knew about marketing. He goes, when I spin that sign, I can also wear a Spider-Man suit because that's going to get more attention. And then like every hour, what if I just walk through the shopping center as Spider-Man and I'll take pictures with kids and I'll hand out your cards. And so, again, that was an investment. Kind of crazy, but it's really, really cool. It worked really, really great for a brand new school in a shopping center, getting to people know that you're there. But again, I saw all these opportunities as an investment, not as an expense. So I hope I gave you a couple good ideas today. Got some motivation for marketing. It's the first of the month. So have fun tricking your students today. Being April Fool's Day, it's got to be part of your class plan for the day. Any questions, comments?
Silva, Perry.
Yes, sir.
We did leadership nominations at graduation. Had a special leadership class on Saturday. Because people pay different amounts, I didn't want to say it just cost this month, so I just said it's a simple $30 add-on. I've been having a problem setting a goal in people's minds. for black belt. So I said, this is a 36-month program that will bring you to black belt level. There will be a special black belt test 3 years from now. I did 4 contracts, each one over $7,000, one at $9,300 total. Took in just for uniform sales $531 and did a gross contract amount of $32,000 just using that system by having that special event. And then afterwards, I had a demo team tryouts. And if you do tryouts, everybody shows up and everybody makes it on the team, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Demo team tryouts. So I added more money with demo team tryouts, and it was, even though it was a pretty nice day out, we still had some people show up. So the things work, but I'm kind of trying to use the shotgun approach. I'm trying to do 5 or 6 or 7 things, at least 3 things, a minimum of 3 things at the same time. But anyhow, I upped my accounts receivable by over $30,000.
Wow, excellent. Yeah, Tom Baker does that. He hands out the nominations. I don't think he hands them out on graduation. I'm going to mention that to him. And the way you did it the following day, everyone's really excited on that Friday doing your graduation, and then get them on Saturday. Very, very cool. So,
yeah, it worked. Old school.
That old school stuff still works a lot of times. Yeah.
People are people. The essence of people aren't going to change, other than how the internet's affecting children. A person's person. 1,000 years ago, there were good people and there were bad people. I mean, people are people, and I think that's one of the things that's the core of what we can do is figure out kind of instincts and learn how to sell to people's instincts and provide what people need when their instincts go a little bit sideways.
Very, very cool, sir. Thanks for those comments. Okay, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go on to marketing pillars tomorrow, and same time. So it'll be first thing in the morning, or 12, first thing for Mick in the morning because it's 9 o'clock for him, 12 o'clock Eastern. Take care, everyone. Thank you.